Hello and welcome. I'm Jenny Hall. Thanks for joining me for another tutorial. Today I'm creating an interactive scrapbook page. I'm going to stamp with Spooky Cat Stamp Set. I'm using a photograph of my youngest son from a few years ago when we paid a visit to Disney World in Orlando. To create a look of texture to the several different layers that are going to hold this photograph, I'm using the stamp that looks like a series of lines. It's going to create a visual breakup of all of the polka dots from Spooky Night Designer Series paper. This is a very simple page to duplicate, so I'd like to share with you how I created the interactive flap. I start off by using the brick wall embossing folder, and I embossed a piece of basic gray cardstock on the Big Shot die cut machine. This piece will lie directly on another piece of basic gray cardstock that is 1/8 of an inch larger than this piece, plus 1/4 of an inch longer on the very top. It's a very simple fold over flap that I attached with some fast views. There's nothing complicated here, just a little bit of fun for my children to play with on a scrapbook page. To add a surprise element underneath the flap, I'm using another piece of Designer Series paper from the same package called Spooky Night, and with my sponge brayer, I'm adding lemon lime twist. To use a brayer to add from your stamp pad to your Designer Series paper, move the brayer from left to right and pick up in a circular motion. What I mean to say is that make sure that you don't use just a small area of the brayer to give you a nice coverage. Use the whole brayer as the circle, and that way you will get more ink on the paper in a very quicker amount of time. This is going to sit right underneath the flap, and I'm going to use some of the pumpkins that I have already cut from the same Designer Series paper pack. This paper pack has certainly gone a long way in this project, and here is the cat from the same Designer Series paper pack. The cat punch is really inventive and brings to life this little kitty from the Designer Series paper. So it's too hard to resist not using this little kitty in my project today. I cut out a lot of the pumpkins and chose to feature the pumpkins that have a spooky face or just any face at all on the inside underneath the flap. The pumpkins on the outside of the flap are the pumpkins that do not have a carved face. That is my paper piercing tool that I'm using with a glue dot on the end to pick up small pieces. It comes in handy in all sorts of different projects. I want to add another cat, as the one that I created with the black cat is underneath the flap. So I'm going to add an orange cat up close to the photograph of my son. And I thought at the last minute that it would be fun to use a little piece of the kitty to appear as if it's hiding behind the pumpkin. And as you could see, I also added a part of a pumpkin that has a face to the side of the flap. I want to give a hint that there could be something behind the flap. The theme is that something is hiding, and this will help to carry through to hopefully entice my sons to pick up this little flap without being prompted and enjoy the little boo underneath. To do my memory keeping part of the scrapbook page, I created a small little plaque with wild wasabi, lemon lime twist, and very vanilla. I'm going to record some information about the memory directly onto this piece and thought it needed a little bit more attention in the area. So with the leaf punch and a scrap of gold glimmer paper, I punched out some leaves and also punched out some partial leaves. Usually I will add the leaves underneath an element, so partial punch outs are really okay to use. And I'm recording this memory from Orlando, Florida in 2014. Thank you for joining me for another Scrapbook Sunday. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and that you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please hit a thumbs up, like for this video, and if you'd like to have more Scrapbook Sundays, be sure to leave me a comment on this video and I'll bring more projects in the future. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for watching the video. Have a good day!